else to say.
Yeah, get those lips nice and wet. Yeah.
All right, hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to CafeTalk.
Hi.
I'm here with Victor.
Hello.
I'm Jolin. This is our first podcast.
Yes.
So hopefully you like what you hear. We'll talk about. I don't know what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, a lot of different topics. Hopefully, some deep questions that get you thinking.
So how are you today, Victor?
Oh yeah, that's a great question.
Oh shoot! All right, damn. You want to talk about that? Fine. You know, how do you solve the world's problem? How do you solve all the world's problems?
All the world's
Just
problems.
pick a problem and solve it.
So the way to solve all the world's problem is by killing everybody, destroying the world. You solve the problem. There's no problems if there's no world. I just solved everybody's problems.
Okay, that's one way to solve the world's problems.
There you go. You know, everybody that's maniacal out there, you know, creating an atomic bomb or something, you know, go for it. Cafe Talk doesn't condone any of those actions. Please don't take me seriously.
Why you gotta say that?
Bitch. All right, Jolin.
Wait, what were we gonna do? Pull up the
what were we gonna talk about today on this podcast?
It's a beautiful afternoon in Los Angeles. We're recording out of El Solito Cafe, so you might hear some.
Are we considered South LA?
Yeah.
Where we're at? We're considered South LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in South LA. You know, downtown.
Oh.
Downtown. So it's DT. You know, we got 2 Ds, double Ds. Oh yeah. All right, what we got?
Yeah, I gotta turn off my volume, my alarms.
True.
I don't know.
First question of the day. Jolin, how do you feel about the environment?
I mean, you already know I'm pretty lively activist. I'm not an activist, but I care greatly about the environment. I try to recycle. I try to visit national parks. You know, so that way the wildlife and service people have money to protect our parks. Huge advocate of Teddy Roosevelt. He's a great man. He's the reason why we have national parks. Yeah. Have you been to any national parks?
I have not.
Really? None of them?
I've always wanted to go to
But
whatever,
you've gone hiking though, right? Just in local.
Yeah, I've gone hiking to the mountains or something, you know, but not like anything that's national park. No, nothing like that. I mean, is the LA what is it? LA Forest considered a national park?
Yeah,
that's considered a national park?
Well, yeah, the LA Forest is a national park, but I mean, Griffith Observatory is another just park. It's not a national park, but it's under the Los Angeles Department of Wildlife, or Fish and Game or something. I don't know.
Well, I've gone hiking to the Griffith Observatory. I've gone hiking to the Hollywood Sign. I've gone to the LA Forest, but I don't think those are national parks. So I want to say no.
But you spend time in nature,
outdoors,
right?
Oh yeah,
because you go to Azusa Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that fucking. What is it? What's that waterfall we always go to?
Oh, the one in Eden Canyon.
Yeah, Eden Canyon. Yeah, those are great. I love going there, especially in the summertime when the weather is hot and you stretch right up. You can touch the sky.
Victor, you can't say that.
I'm not seeing it in the tone. They can't cover right there, you know.
All right,
it's all fair game.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've been to 2 national parks.
Yeah, what?
2. I went to last winter.
Is Sequoia the one that has the giant oaks?
No, they're Sequoia trees.
Oh, they're Sequoia trees.
Yeah, Sequoias are the biggest trees in the world, I think.
Are they?
I think so.
But they're huge, right?
Yeah, they're extremely huge.
How old are they? They're
very old. I think the oldest one in the park is, I don't know. I don't want to say a number because people are going to be like, no, you're wrong. It's this old.
Hey, that's the process of learning.
One of the trees is named the Grant tree, and it was named because of Ulysses S. Grant. I don't know if it's because he found it.
Or did he plant it?
I mean, no, he didn't plant it.
Yo, it would have been amazing though if he planted it all the way back then and
Ulysses S. Grant was a Civil War general.
Hey, he could still love nature. He could have planted that baby and been you grow big and strong now, you hear? And no matter what happens, we're gonna be
Ulysses S. Grant wasn't a Southerner. He wouldn't have that accent.
How do you know? Maybe back then everybody had a Southern accent, even though they weren't in the Southern. You know, it's not like people talk like this in the Southern, but
According to the National Park Service website, some of the sequoias can grow up to 3,000 years old.
Damn, 3,266 years? My God.
One of them in the giant Sequoia National Monument is 3,000.
Wow.
And they're really big. Like, you look at pictures of sequoia trees and you're just like, oh, you know what? It's a giant tree. But when you're actually there and you stand in front of it with all its majesty,
You feel inferior?
you get like a different feeling. It's not inferiority, but it's just like an appreciation
Of the beauty
for something
of
that
nature.
can just like grow this big. And even trees that are like 100 feet tall, they're still considered like babies.
True. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
How do other plant life survive in that forest if like
Well, 'cause they
those
don't
giant
have-
trees just block all the sun?
Well, they're not like those trees. They're a different type of tree. They're like evergreens where they have small leaves and like sunlight can still come through them. So,
So plant life at
light,
the bottom.
yeah, so light can still like reach the floor. Where like in the tropics, plants are competing against each other because there's such a canopy and stuff.
Like the rainforest and stuff like there?
Yeah.
That the plants have to climb up other trees and other plants to actually survive and reach the top.
Yeah.
Nice. I remember that. Is Sequoia the park where rather than tearing down the whole tree, they just made a tunnel for like the cars to go through it?
See, that's what we thought too. Apparently, that tree is not in Sequoia National Park.
It's
There's
not?
a tree that's similar to that.
Yeah.
Where they hollowed it out, and you can like actually walk into it,
Uh-huh.
and the whole tree and like hollow it out. It looks like it's like this. It feels because I used to live in a mobile home or like a trailer. I used to live in a trailer park when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it has that feeling like it's as big as a trailer park home.
Really?
And it's like a lot longer.
Whoa, what?
Like you could walk through the tree, and like when I was walking through it, I thought to myself, someone can like live in this tree.
You're just a homeless man. You
Yeah.
just pass by and be like, get out of my house.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you want to go that way?
So what park is it that had the hollowed out tree for the cars?
We asked one of the park rangers, and they were saying it's a park outside of. It's like in between Yosemite and like the Sierra Nevada, somewhere around there. It's like where these giant redwoods grow, but it wasn't in Sequoia.
It's
Because
not
like my dad,
Yellowstone or anything like that?
no, it's not Yellowstone. Yellowstone's in Montana.
Oh yeah, I know.
That
I'm
tree's
saying,
like here in California or something.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I want to go. I want to go see if we can go
It's
fishing
fun.
or something.
Well, you
hiking
can't go.
and
You can't go
stuff.
fishing in Sequoia,
parks?
but there's like down in the basin, and I think the town's called Three Forks or
Yeah.
something. They have like an area where you can fish, but you need like a license, of course, and
Oh, I
stuff like
see.
that.
Yeah. Or at least
yeah, we should go.
canoeing or something.
It's
you know?
it's like three hours from here.
Yeah.
Like
Sounds
it's
like fun.
on your way to Bakersfield, like you pass through Bakersfield, and then you just like keep on going.
Nice. Okay. Oh, we
And
can
then
drive that.
I've been to the Grand Canyon and like the surrounding parks from there,
Yeah.
like the Redstones and Sedona.
What's your hobby, Jordan? What do you like to do?
Well,
like
I like to draw.
outdoor hobbies.
Outdoor hobby?
Yeah, like I know I myself am not a huge like outdoor person, but once I am in the outdoors, I just love to do anything and everything. But I haven't chosen a specific hobby. Like I can't automatically say, yes, let's go do this. I'm an expert at this. I love doing this. You know, I can't say that. So I'm wondering, do you have something like that?
Well, before it used to just be hiking. Like I would love just like getting out there, having the sun beat down on me, getting all sweaty, and then finally reaching like, if it was like the summit or the peak or a plateau or a waterfall, like just that sense of like I actually walked like
All
6
that.
miles just to get here. Like it felt great, and plus it's like really good for you. You do a lot of walking. If you're like more hardcore with your hiking, you're doing like rock climbing, going over these giant boulders.
Yo, that sounds
But-
awesome.
But since I like messed up both of my meniscus in my knees, my menisci,
This guy.
menisci.
Hey, this guy.
Yeah, since I messed up both of my knees, I had to revert to my second favorite outdoor hobby, which is fishing. Like, I'm a huge fishing person. I've gone freshwater fishing a couple times, like back in in like Castic Lake. I've gone there like when my boat was still working.
Oh yeah.
Like my dad and I went to Castic Lake one time with the family, and we went fishing for a little. We didn't catch anything, but we go out to our local beaches like Long Beach, San Pedro, Santa Monica. We'll fish there. We have a good time.
I never got I love going fishing, but I never got the hang of like how
Dude,
to catch
we always
fish
say like we should go
fast.
fishing.
I know
Yeah.
we do. I know. But it's like I always go fishing with my dad, and every time we're there, there's always
My
like my dad. I always go fishing with my dad. And we always get there, we always see like old people or just like other people like automatically catch fishes every 10, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's us.
And yeah.
Yeah.
See, and we're there
'Cause
for
we
like
know what to
hours,
do.
and we only catch like 3 fish. And I'm just
Because
like,
there's a technique to like what kind of fish you want to catch.
well, yeah,
So,
I
like,
understand
here-
that part. But
Here
I'm
in like our local beaches, the most popular fish are like mackerel, if it's in season, bonitos,
Yeah.
some white croakers, halibut. Sometimes there's mullets or like corvinas.
yeah.
It all depends what you want to catch.
Does that require not only a technique, but like a specific type of bait for each one?
Kind of. Yeah, so like a good all-purpose bait to get you started would
Yeah.
be like squid or shrimp, like raw shrimp.
Yeah.
Once, like, say if you're gonna catch mackerel, obviously mackerel are carnivorous fish. They like to eat other fish, especially like smaller mackerel. So you catch, like, you use your shrimp.
Sorry, I had to cough.
It's fine. You like use your shrimp, catch a mackerel, then you use that mackerel as bait, and then after that, it's just a non-stop bonanza of catching mackerel.
Okay, because I
but
mean that's what
even
we did
then,
last
like-
time, and we actually caught some.
Yeah, but
amount.
even then, mackerel usually live within 2 to 6 feet of the surface, so that's where you have to put your bait. Like 6 feet is probably like the limit to where like the biggest or like the most mackerel are at. After 6 feet, especially like in Long Beach because the water is a little bit deeper
Yeah.
than in San Pedro. After that, you're probably not going to get anything until you hit the bottom, and at the bottom you have like croakers and halibut and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, because we tried many
Some
different types
fishing
of
knowledge.
we tried many different types of bait. Like we used squid, we used shrimp, we used the mackerel itself that we caught. We used what was that one time we used? We bought some really expensive bait.
Is it anchovies?
Yeah, anchovies.
Yeah, anchovies
And-
are pretty good.
but we didn't catch anything. Like we caught at least one fish with every like bait except for anchovies, and we're like, what was the point of spending that much? If we didn't
Anchovies
even
is
catch
like a
one?
specific kind of thing. They're usually meant for bigger fish
Okay, that makes
because the meat from an anchovy is so like soft.
sense. Yeah.
You usually hook it from the head and then you cast it out. So you use those to catch like sharks or bigger fish like bonitos.
Yeah.
When I used to go fishing, when we used to like launch our boat out of Long Beach, there's like this little shack in the middle of the ocean
Yeah.
where it was like a bait shop.
In the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's like a bait shop in the middle of the ocean.
That's fucking awesome.
It's
I didn't
super
know,
cool.
know that existed.
And then my dad and my uncle became friends with the guy who's like at that bait shop.
yeah.
And they would bring him like a 12-pack of beer, and he would give us 3 nets full of anchovies and
That's
sardines.
amazing. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great
so
deal.
they became friends, and then we would have like a bunch of anchovies, and like we would use the anchovies as bait, and regardless or not if we caught anything, at the end we still had anchovies to eat.
Yeah.
Some people are probably like, "Oh, you eat anchovies?" Canned anchovies, they're not that good, but fresh anchovies, they're pretty good.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I've never eaten an anchovy in my life. I've always wanted to get
So
the
like
pizza
canned
anchovy.
anchovies, they're really salty because you need that to preserve them.
Yeah.
But fresh anchovies, they have a little bit of saltiness, but it's like that natural sea saltiness that you get from like fish. Like
Or
some fish are
oysters or
sweet.
something like that, yeah.
Yes, like oyster, clam, like shrimp, oysters, lobsters. Their meat's sweet, but then there's some fish like bonitos where they'll have like this natural saltiness, or like tilapias.
Yeah.
It's like
but
that.
That's good. It just goes well with the fish. It's not overpowering.
Yeah, that's,
I like that.
essentially like how anchovies taste. The sardines taste a lot better.
Oh, I love sardines.
Yeah.
I hate the canned sardines.
Really? Like the one in tomatoes?
Yes, I hate
love
that so
those.
much. Like I don't mind eating sardines like fresh, but the canned ones in tomatoes, my mom used to cook that almost like every
How does she
weekend.
cook them though?
Like she would just like mix it up, mash them up into like she used to like mix it up.
Oh, that's your
it's like-
problem.
Like it's a little mush. So I would think that it's soft, and then you would bite into it, and it would be like a bunch of little bones.
That's your
And
problem.
it just discouraged me from eating it.
That's
Why?
your problem. What you got to do is first you get a skillet or
Yeah.
just a regular frying pan. Put a little bit of oil in there,
Yeah.
and then cut some really fine strings of onion.
Mhm.
Put those in there, let them sweat.
Mhm.
Then you open your can of sardines and you put them in there. Don't destroy the fish. You just want it to heat up.
Oh, okay.
So then-
so it's still whole.
Yeah, so it's still whole. You
Yeah.
can cut them in half so you can make them a little smaller.
Uh-huh.
But you just turn them, let the oil with the onions incorporate with the tomato paste.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of black pepper, or in my case, put a lot of black pepper because
Yeah.
I love pepper.
I love that shit.
And then have some freshly cooked rice and just pour the tomato and onion and sardines on top.
Oh,
That's how you make them.
that does sound much better.
It's so good.
Yeah, no,
And then even then, like, you have bones, but you see that it's a whole fish, so you're just like, whatever.
Exactly. You expect the bones when you see a whole fish. I saw a gray mush, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be soft. It's gonna be chewy, maybe. No, it was nothing but gooey, bony mess. I was like, oh god, no.
Yep, I don't know. That's just some advice, some tips from Jolin. All right, Victor, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Sorry. I wrote them down. No, I wrote them down. I wrote them down so like I can tell you, but I was trying to like incorporate it into like a sentence or just like some weird thing. So the question that I had for you was: are there things that you see now that you interpreted differently as a child? And like to kind of give you like an example or like just what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Like in my case, when I was younger, I remember like watching cartoons or just shows where people would have like half-filled cups of like, at the time I thought it was water, but now I know it's like alcohol or champagne or whatever. Mm-hmm. And usually like that half-filled cup always symbolized like wealth or like somebody was rich if they did that. Mm-hmm. So for a while, I would fill up my waters halfway and I would be drinking like 3 or 4 cups. And I could just drink like 1 cup.
Uh-huh.
But I
it's trying to be fancy.
Yeah, it's trying to be fancy as a little kid.
Uh-huh.
And like now I know that it's like, it's not because they were rich, or maybe it is because they're rich, but usually it's just like in my case, I buy like the organic milk, or my mom likes to buy the organic milk, not just like the gallons, and that's expensive. It's like $5 for like 1 carton.
Yeah.
So instead of filling a whole cup of milk, I'll fill it up halfway because it's like that's really all I need. So it's like it can go both ways. It's like either it shows that you're really rich because you're drinking expensive fermented drinks, or you're trying to save a bunch of money and just like drinking as much as you know you need.
Yeah, I get you. Honestly, how can I say it? The only thing that popped into my mind right now when you asked me that was the situation between teachers and students. Before, when I was in high school, or even when I was out of high school, I always somehow just related more to the students. You know what I mean? I could see myself in their shoes because I was freshly out of school. So I was like, oh, for sure.
Wait, like now?
Yeah, like now. Like recently, was it like a month ago, I realized this. Before I used to just, relate to the kids. I was like, I was in your shoes. I know how it feels. Some teachers could suck. You know what I mean? I understand. You just gotta push through it, graduate, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, I recently am able to connect more with the teachers than the students. You know what I mean? Like, before I used to be like, oh, the teachers are bad. They just don't know what they're doing. Just gotta push through it. You could have a better life. Get your diploma, whatever. Now I'm on the other way around. Now I'm like, oh, the kids are assholes. The kids don't want to fucking learn. They don't want to listen to the teachers. They just want to do whatever the fuck they want. Let them fail if they want. And I'm over here with the teachers saying like, no, you're a hard worker. Like I know what it took to go and be a teacher. Like it took you years of college. It took you learning what to do, how to take care of kids. Like how to support all their thought processes and how to support like multiple kids at a time. And like I relate more to them just because, not because I'm older, but I guess mainly because I have 2 friends that want to become teachers. Edward and Sergio. They're going through the process of becoming teachers, so I'm able to see through their eyes like what it takes to be a teacher. So I'm actually understanding now when a kid's being an asshole is because he wants to be an asshole, rather than just like, oh, he's misunderstood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's not just because you're older now and you realize like this is what it actually takes to be a teacher, or like you identified more with the student because you were younger and you actually were a student and you had like those bad teachers or teachers that you thought were bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it wasn't just because of that.
No, it's not. Even now that I thought about it, before it was like, oh yeah, no, these teachers suck. They never even like thought about me as a student. They never wanted to like teach me on one-on-one. Now I realize, if I wanted some one-on-one time, I should have gone to them. They're trying to take care of like over 60 students. They can't automatically know when one of them needs like one-on-one time.
I get you.
So like if I wanted one-on-one time, I should have gone myself. But it's just my whole perspective changed, and it's something I never expected to change that way. And I kind of just figured I would see them as adults because I was an adult, but now I'm seeing it more of, no, there's always 2 sides to the story that you don't really understand.
Oh, I see.
What about you, Jonah? Like, besides the whole...
Besides the half-filled cup?
Yeah. Any other situations where you're like, oh, man, I never thought
I mean,
about that way?
I guess, like, the value of money,
Yeah.
I guess, because, like, I mean, that kind of goes with everybody. Like, when you're a kid, you don't really know what, like, $1 is. Like, you know you can get for $1.
True.
But you don't know, like, how much you actually have to work for $1
Mm-hmm.
or what that dollar, like, signifies, how much, like, $1 can change someone's life. Or just, like, general things. Like, I started it with just with the idea that I didn't realize, like, oh, this is $1, this is $5, this is like $5 is $1.
Mm-hmm.
Or just like I always thought you could just go to an ATM or a bank and just like it just gave you money. I didn't realize that was your money that you put into the bank. You get older and you realize those kind of things. And even now, it's like I've had a couple jobs since I graduated high school, and like even in college, I had a couple jobs. And I mean, I realized like how hard is it to actually make $1.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're working minimum wage, which right now is $10.50, but I think by like next year
It's gonna be like $12.
it'll be $15.
$15?
They're raising the minimum to $15 in California at least.
Oh. Well, isn't that only on jobs that have employment over 300 people?
Something, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, it's still I think it's like $12, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless, if it's like $12 and you get paid by the hour to make $1, yeah, it's basically like a fourth of your time. It's like it's like 4 minutes of your time.
No, exactly. Compared to other people that like they only.
And when you're a
work
kid, 4 minutes is a lot.
Oh, exactly. A
like,
day feels like an eternity.
Yeah, especially if you have something to look forward to when you're a kid. I mean, that still applies now.
Yes.
Like yesterday, I was like super antsy because I wanted to record this already. Because I was like driving my mom to the doctor, and I like on the way to the doctors, and like even just waiting in the car, I had all these ideas, questions to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some days feel longer than others. But when you're a kid, like days just feel like they drag on, and like summer break, if you don't do anything or see your friends, it just like it's longer than you expect it to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I understand. I remember, was it a week? Sounded like a year. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, next week we'll be doing this, and now you're so preoccupied with just doing what you have to do in life that a week is too short. You're like, what? That's due next week? Like, no, I don't have enough time to do that.
Even now, since I'm at home, like my mom just had, she just had surgery on her foot. She's okay and everything, but I haven't seen most of you guys in like a couple weeks. But honestly, like that just felt like a couple days for me because like the days just blend together. And
exactly.
Like when nothing's going on.
And that's another thing that changes when you're
the
young.
Perspective of time.
Yeah, not the perspective of time, but I guess just friendships, like how close you feel, because time is so distorted. Like the difference between when you're young and when you're older, like when you don't talk to your friend for like 2 months when you're young, it feels like you're not friends anymore. Like you have to like reinstate friendship again. You're gonna be like, oh hey man,
you go through that weird awkward phase where like one of you thinks you're not friends but you're still friends, and then you have to clear it up, and then even then you're like, they haven't spoken in a while.
I remember that. You feel that distance between you for some reason.
That was weird.
And then right now you could go like 2 months without talking, and then automatically go right back into whatever the fuck you left off at. You know what I mean? It's just, or at least that's how I am with my friends, and I know that's how you are too. So it's like we're cool with that. I don't know if anybody out there just
honestly like that time that you aren't with your friends, and once you reunite with them, like it just makes your friendship so much better because like things have passed and you've done stuff, and there's so much more to talk about. Whereas if you see someone every day for consecutively, like you kind
of boring.
Yeah, it gets it's not that it gets boring. It's just like you already know what went on in my life because I told you yesterday.
Yeah,
like nothing new happened. Like I probably just woke up, brushed my teeth, and like ate breakfast. Not in that order.
Is that how you think? Is that why you think some relationships fail? Because some people just like spend way too much time together.
You're talking to someone that's never been in a relationship.
Oh, sorry. No, but
I can imagine.
You've seen relationships. You've seen how like like your own parents' relationship. They've been together for years. You know what I mean, decades. Other people's relationships, like Edward's relationship, or your friends' relationships on TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You have a perspective
that's probably
on
like an underlying issue. I think that is kind of it. Like, you just get bored of somebody.
Because there's some. I know for a fact that there's some people out there that their relationship is everything in their life. You know what I mean? They don't have their own like hobbies or their own pretty much, you know, quote unquote life to live while their significant other is away. Like they just wait for them to come back, you know. like
I get
SpongeBob, you know, I wait for Patrick to come back.
What do you do when I'm at school? Wait for you to come back.
Exactly like that. So it's just like in a relationship like that, it could work. You know what I mean? It's a very loving and caring relationship, but at the same time, it's like so what was I saying?
How people's relationships are their lives.
Right. So that relationship could be caring, you know what I mean? Because it's like a housewife, you know what I mean? The husband goes
or a
off.
house husband. Things are different now.
Housewife is the proper term.
I'm just kidding.
No, no, I understand, but you get me. You know what I mean? That person that gets home and slave.
No, Victor. I just said maid. Right.
No, the person that stays home takes care of the house, takes care of the kids and that stuff, while the other person goes and works at a corporate job or does their job. You know what I mean? Comes home and earns the big money. You know what I mean? That could work out. You know what I mean? The other person that's taking care of the house, they're in charge of making sure the other person feels loved. You know what I mean? After that rough day at work, maybe they're surrounded by people they don't like or whatever, you know, and you just gotta learn how to deal with it. You gotta learn how to take care of it. You gotta learn how to handle your own emotions and learn how to react to the set.
Thinking about that, that's also something that changes from when we're children.
Oh, the way you react.
Like literally, well, just everything that you just said, like handling our own emotions. When we're younger, our parents are the ones that tell us like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling this way.
Oh, true.
Or like, don't cry, don't feel bad, don't like be happy, things like that. They're telling us how we should feel. The whole concept of like love and feeling affection, like I can't say everyone is given that, but on some level, when you're younger, somebody gives you affection, whether it was like a parent, a guardian, a grandparent,
your
friend,
dog,
your
dog,
sister, your siblings, somebody at some level. And then now that we're like, I mean, we're both 21, given like I'm a couple months older, so I'm turning 22 at the end of the year. We're still fairly young, and I mean, like, you look at the majority of people around us, and everyone is looking for that affection.
Yeah, definitely.
Where like as kids, we don't search that
because we already have
some of us are given affection all the time. Some of us not so much, but it's always there.
Even as a kid, like even if you don't have it, you feel like that's the way life should be. So you just accept it early on, and you don't look for it thinking that that's the way life is. Yeah. And it's now you're getting older and you're searching for that affection any which way, and it's like it's overwhelming.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Episode 1 coming with you with the hard-hitting facts.
Oh shit!
Just had a life moment.
Just
had a realization
of what?
I don't know. I did. I was like, you know what? Maybe that's why I haven't had a girlfriend yet.
Why?
Because I don't look for affection in people. I just look for people I can have a good time with.
I see.
Just having fun. Things I don't have to do. I can't do or won't do with my family.
I don't know. I always, in order to get a girlfriend, I always thought of it in their perspective. Like, what were they looking to get out of this?
Oh,
you get me? I already knew what I wanted, so that's why I started liking them. And then I put myself in their shoes. Like, what would they expect to get out of me? You know what I mean? How do they want me to act? And I would act accordingly, and that's what would get me to, like, you know, get that second date out of them.
And then again, I've never been that kind of person to just conform to what people expect of me.
Exactly. No, I understand.
Like,
you don't
I remember,
have to.
I know. Like, I remember my sister, she brought me to this museum where they were having a symposium on bonobo behavior.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I was tired because I just came out of school that day, and we were at the museum until, like, 12, which in middle school, 12 seems like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It just seems forever. Yeah. And my sister was mad at me the next day because she was like, you didn't behave the way I expected you. But I was like, I don't understand how you wanted me to behave. Like, I literally just sat there, listened to the symposium, which was fascinating, by the way. Walked around the museum, looked at the exhibits, and then I just sat down at a bench because I was tired.
That's it? And
yeah.
How did she expect you?
She expected me to be more engaging with her group of friends, which were like 7 years older than me or 5 years older than me.
And she expects you to have an automatic connection to them somehow?
Yeah, I guess. Given like a couple hours, like the next day, the day after she was mad at me, she apologized because she was like, I realized I shouldn't hold you to these expectations because they're like my expectations.
Yeah.
But still, like I've never been one to just do that.
Yeah.
And even in high
You
school.
do your own thing.
Yeah, even in high school, like I remember Miss our AP stats teacher, she like came up to me one day after class and she was just like, oh, I realized your name wasn't on the honor society sheet for like sweaters or something. And I was just like, I told her like, yeah, I'm not in the honor society. And she was so flabbergasted. She's like, why aren't you in the honor society? Aren't you taking like AP Chem and AP Physics and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's because I want to take them. And then she was just like, so you're not doing it for your GPA? And I was like, oh no, I have a crappy GPA. I have a 2.6 or like a 3.0 or something. And then she was quiet for a moment, and then she had this like realization, like, holy crap, like you actually want to take these classes because you want to take these classes. And then she like respected me a little bit after that day.
She I guess she got too comfortable with the idea that people just want to do it for a specific reason other than, hey, I like this class or this subject.
Yeah, because I mean, you hear about the kid who takes
6
AP
APs.
Physics and like all these AP Science classes their senior year when everyone else is just chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
Automatically, you assume he's only doing this because he wants to get he's trying to
great
solidify himself into this amazing
Yeah.
college, or he's like trying to get those last couple of GPA points so he can be the valedictorian. Like, hell no, I didn't want any of that. I took physics because I liked it. I took chemistry because I loved it.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like we always had that unspoken connection because Edward's the same way. He just
Maybe
does
that's
stuff
probably why
because
we
he
like.
wants to do it, not because he has to.
That's probably why we gravitated towards each other.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next question, Jolene. Is
What? You're supposed to come up. I already asked you.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. Next question. We're switching topics.
All right, we're jumping on that segue.
Jesus.
Making our way downtown.
Walking fast?
No, we're going at a moderate pace.
But pace is fast though.
Kinda. They're like turning a little. Like, who the hell are they?
Are we walking fabulously? Is that it? That's why they're turning.
Yeah, dude, we're fucking fabulous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do we have high heels? 6-inch heels?
You have 6-inch heels. I'm just walking with my flats.
Why are you gonna be so basic?
I can't walk in heels.
Why are you gonna be so basic?
You think I got the ankles to support those heels? You think I got the legs to do this?
I know you got the curves to get that mini dress though, right? The cocktail dress?
Hey, circle is a curve. It's one continuous curve.
It's the perfect curve. It never ends.
Yep.
All right. My question to you is, have you noticed the place you grew up in, like the house you live in, the city you're growing in? Have you noticed it change drastically enough for you to be like, whoa, this changed, or just it hasn't been changing so slowly that it only took you up till now to notice that, hey, a lot of stuff actually has changed since your childhood?
Well, the house that I grew up in, no. I mean, given like the house that I'm in now, which is like my parents' house, we moved there when I was in second grade, which I don't remember what year that was.
Yeah.
But from second grade to now, like we've lived in the same house, so that house hasn't changed. Everything looks the same way. I mean, given it's a lot messier, and because I've had like a ton of dogs, the wooden floors are like starting to lift up from all the pee that they piss on the floor.
Oh, shit.
Fucking God. Oh my God, I hate
Having
that.
to body shame them every time.
I just want to redo the floors. That's like the one thing that I want to fix with my house.
You should do it.
But I don't have the money to do it.
Jeffrey. Oh, well, I don't know.
Still gotta pay it.
Yeah, true.
I'm just kidding. Eventually, I'll redo those floors because right now they're just those like laminate wooden floors. I want to put like real wooden floors,
like actual hardwood floors.
Yeah, like actual hardwood.
Nice. Okay.
We'll probably do that when it comes time for us to sell our house.
Yeah.
Or at least rent it out. Because my parents want to move up north, like outside of Berkeley. And eventually, like, I want to move to like Oregon or something, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
Just to see what's out there, because I've lived my whole life in Los Angeles, and I mean, Los Angeles is a great place when you know what you're looking for. Like, if you don't know what you want out of a city, it's kind of just, it's like hit and miss.
True. That's true.
Like, there's so many places and so many little things to do, but it's just like you don't know that they're there unless you're looking for that.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're following that specific subject and you go dive deep into it to see where you can find more of it. Anyways,
there's a lot of stuff that's changed a little bit, but not much. Like gentrification hasn't hit, industrialization. That's the wrong word, but regardless, like there's no big corporations here. There's chains like McDonald's and Starbucks and stuff like that, but they've always been here. And
it hasn't changed.
Hopefully, they're not
drastically
always
enough
going to be
notice.
here. I'd like to see like little artisan shops that local people in the community own.
Your question?
All right.
Did I get you thinking too much, Sean?
No.
Too deep?
Yeah.
Too
No,
pessimistic?
I'm thinking about things that I want to change about my house. Because we got rid of our boat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
What
we
happened?
don't have
Did
a
you
boat
sell
in our
it?
driveway. No, we gave it away.
To who?
It's one of my mom's coworkers. Cause
Dude, my dad wasn't wanting to buy that boat off of you guys since the longest. He was willing to buy. He was willing to like fix it up too.
we don't have it anymore.
He just never told you guys because he was afraid that you guys were gonna offer like that you were gonna get your hopes up that we actually wanted to buy it and then offer us like $1,000 like
No,
for
dude,
it.
we were selling it like 500 flat, like trailer and everything.
See, my
You
dad
just
thought
have
it was
to-
an outrageous price, so he was like, I don't want to get their hopes up saying that I want to buy it. and
I've
then
even
be
told
like,
you,
"Oh,
I was
can't."
like, dude, we'll give you the trailer and everything, like pink slip in hand. You
Yeah.
could have everything in the boat, like freaking the life vest, the communications, the flare gun,
Yeah.
everything.
I forgot. I told him. I forgot the price he told me, and I told him I was like, they're looking to sell it. Like, you want to buy it? And my dad was like, I'm down, but just it has to be for a good price. And I never got back to you to see what price it was.
You could probably find another boat for cheap.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, it was a nice little small boat. I liked it.
Yeah,
It was cute.
it's a good 20-footer.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, if you had to choose like a cartoon dad or a dad from like
Dad.
any show that you've seen,
Yeah.
or like not just a dad but a family, like who would the person be? What cartoon? And like what would you do with that family? Or like
Ooh,
that dad
That's
or
hard.
somebody, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Well, what family would I choose?
It doesn't have to be a cartoon either. It could be like real life or well, not in real life, but like a live recorded show.
A live action?
Yeah.
Is it live
yeah.
action? Is
I
that
don't
the
think
proper term
that's
for it?
no. Live action is that usually refers to cartoons and animes that become movies.
Live studio audience?
No,
A
like,
sitcom.
yeah, sitcoms. You know, like Fresh Off the Boat or something.
Yeah, exactly like that. I can't think of any family I would want to be in or any like dad I would want to have. It's just there's so many shitty dads in TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you mine?
Yeah. Give me an
I'm
example.
stuck between Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers
Yeah.
or Randy from South Park. I'm stuck between those two, but I'm leaning more towards Bob.
Really?
Cause
You would be happy with Bob as a dad?
Yeah,
I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm just so
'Cause-
awkward.
that's the reason why. Because he's just so awkward, and it's he's like at the whim of suggestions. Like you're just like, hey, we should go here, and he's like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. And you're just
What?
like, yeah, we should go here. And we're like, oh, okay, fine. And even on like the newest episode, like the scene that gets me is like he's talking to like these eggs, and he's like, you guys are gonna make an amazing breakfast. And then Linda calls him, and he's just like, we don't like her, and he's like, I know. And he's just like, we're away with this, Bob. He's like, no, I can't. Well, maybe we'll talk about it. And I'm like, that's what I like about Bob.
Maybe. We'll
Just
talk
like
about
his
it.
spontaneity.
What do you like, Randy?
It's just the same reason. He's just so random and like he takes everything to the extreme. He got like a hint of PC culture. Now he's like devoted to PC. He took it upon himself to fight every single dad at a minor league softball game, and he like fought the bat dad. Yeah. Just all that.
That's cool. That's true. That makes sense.
And what would I do with them? Honestly, with Bob, I'd probably just cook.
With who?
With Bob.
Oh, the burgers?
Yeah. Bob's like this... that was weird. Bob's... that guy just like changed in our restroom.
Yeah, I know he did.
Anyways. Yeah, because Bob has this like this chef inside of him, but because he owns a burger stand or like a burger restaurant, he's not able to express it.
And he has a family that
always shoots him
constantly
down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, like
I can see your
like
reasoning.
he makes all these like amazing burger ideas, and he like wants to make these like great things, but then his family is like, no, we should stick to burgers. They're like, you're not a real chef.
Yeah, and that's a dumb idea. Like, why are you even saying that type of stuff?
You think
you're a chef, yo? No, you fucking idiot.
South Park reference.
what was it? What was the meat? Beef Wellington. Yeah, you said it. Yeah. Damn it, you beat me to it.
That's his signature dish.
Beef Wellington, yeah.
What about you? Now that you have an idea,
yeah,
what would you say? Who would you choose? Pick your dad. Your dream daddy.
I think my dream dad. I think like dream like dad. I guess. Like, yeah, I'm fucking say it. Yeah, dream daddy.
Right. Own up to it. I like it.
It would be the professor from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, really?
Because he's incredibly smart. You could do amazing experiments with him. You could learn so much from him. And on top of that, he's a caring dad. He cares a lot about his kids. And you could just do crazy experiments with him, like fucking shit that explodes. And he created the Powerpuff Girls. Come on, like, you can make your own version of that shit or implement it. And, oh man, it would be great. And just have a good time.
You wouldn't want to be part of the Rick and Morty, the Smith family?
Fuck no, that's a horrible ass family. Oh no, I love the show, but it is a piece of shit family. My God, that's the worst family I've ever seen. I would die in that family. Like if I was Rick's son, where I was as smart as them, I would probably not even be in the family, just like them.
Well, you wouldn't have to, because you're Rick's son. You would have your own family.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you would be doing your own thing.
I would probably be in a different dimension, just starting the perfect family.
Yeah, Rick probably would have left that dimension because he's jumped.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, like, I don't want to give spoilers to anyone who's like hasn't seen the end of the third season of Rick and Morty,
yeah, spoilers,
or just anything about the third season of Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
like spoilers.
Just
skip to whatever time I decide to post up on the screen. I don't know how long this is gonna go for.
Yeah,
but the end of the third season. Like, you know how he does that whole bit where he tricks the president into thinking he's a different Rick?
Oh, because he puts, like, the fish hat on, and he's like,
he's just Rick? He's like, I'm Fisherman Rick. You can tell that, like, I'm obviously a different Rick because of my affinity to fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how many times do you think Rick has done that? Or do you think he's, like, even left I know he can travel through dimensions, but do you think, like, he's replaced a different Rick? Well, obviously he's replaced a different Rick. But how many times do you think he's done that where he's made people believe, or even other Ricks he's made believe that he just jumped a dimension when in reality he's in his own actual dimension this whole time? And he just says that because it's like a way to keep his like godlike appearance. But now that he's like the lowest member of his family because the whole like Smith family's back together at the end,
wants to, like,
he's like the lowest
everything.
tier, and now he's just like stuck in a well of his own lies.
Yo, I never thought of that. But hold on.
I mean, that's just
but
my theory.
Wouldn't that only work with people that know he could dimension jump? Because it worked on the president because the president knew he could dimension jump, so that way he could just come in and be like, oh, like he said himself, I'm Fisherman Rick from the other universe. We all just replace each other. You know, we're kind of like cockroaches, or what was it? Did he say? Like matches. But he says like he gives an analogy, and he's like, like we all just do this because we want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why the president believes him. He's like, you know, fuck it, I don't believe you, I'm gonna trust you, but don't fuck me over. I feel like it would only work for like his family specifically, or even not even his family. Some of his family don't even know that he could dimension jump.
As far as we know, he's jumped like 2 dimensions at most. No, at least, because in the pilot episode, he has a neutrino bomb that we're unsure of that Morty was able to deactivate.
Three times. They jump 3 times.
Okay, there's the neutrino bomb part. Then there's the Cronenberg episode.
And then the episode where the Morty messes with the squirrels.
Oh yeah, that's another
jump, and that's why he's like, we can only do this a few times, Morty. Like, what the fuck?
There you go. Yeah, so we're as far as like fan conspiracists go, he's jumped a minimum of 3 times.
Yeah,
but
that we know. Yeah,
that we know of.
That we know of.
Who's to say?
Well, actually, that we know of, we know that he's jumped more than 3 times.
That's why I'm saying at least.
Yeah, at least
3. But like, I know definitely he's jumped and stayed. He's jumped and stayed in those 3 dimensions specifically because his prior dimensions were destroyed.
Yeah, because we know the episode where they when Morty jumps dimensions for the first time and they have to like bury their own bodies. He tells Morty that he's done this multiple times. So we know for a fact.
But then that goes
that
back
he's
to
done
my
it.
idea. Like, does he say that because he wants to keep this appearance of a god complex? And now that like his life is in shambles, he realizes that he's like stuck in this web of lies. Ergo, that's why Dan.
Ergo.
My bad. I was thinking of two different words. Ergo, that's why Dan Harmon is kind of like sketchy about that episode or something. Like he just.
Well, what if he can't?
And who is Mr. Poopy Butthole? What does Summer have to do with all of this? Where is Rick and Morty going with the 4th season? All of this will not be answered in the next podcast.
Well, not. No, because it's weird, man. It's just it's a lot to think of. It's a lot to process.
It is.
Because what if he hasn't really
and then it
jumped
goes
that
back.
much?
It goes back to what Rick was. It goes back to what Rick told Beth. Like the more smart people think about it, the less you realize things are important or like things matter, or something like that.
The less you realize things matter.
Something like that. I don't know. Basically, it's like the more you think about it, the less you know.
Yeah.
So the more we think about how many times Rick has jumped, it's just.
Well, the more you think about it, the less you care.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that Beth is a clone now. Well, actually, a lot of people are theorizing whether if the whole family is a clone, he's the only real one. Everybody else either just died or left.
I have no idea.
Wow. Okay. That sounds like a good wrap up point. And then with Rick and Morty.
And with something to scratch your brain with.
Everyone for tuning in with our first podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you come back to the second one.
Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. What worked.
Any suggestions of what we could talk about? What you like?
Questions we can address in the podcast. Questions you have for us. Hit us up on all our social media.
Like and subscribe.
And thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.